Hello everybody, welcome back to MIRRORMOURN. We do not have Nick with us at the moment. He might join in at some point. We will see. Welcome back. It's been a little while. We had some scheduling hiccups, but here we are, ready to see probably the conclusion of the Battle of Holmsgate and what will happen after that. Well, we have some ideas, but we don't know quite for sure. I am Esper, your game master, and guys, would you introduce yourselves and your characters, please?
Hello everyone, I'm Warsor and I'm playing Walykos, level 8 Half-Elf Swarm Ranger.
I'm Vince, I am playing Vapor, the Wild Magic Sorcerer.
And as always, I am Adam and I'm playing Aygir, the Armorer Artificer. We're all level 8.
You're playing the
Yes.
All right.
The
so,
American Automobile Association.
Yes. We have been in a mass combat scenario for a bit. They are rules that I adapted and built upon. I didn't originally create the baseline of them, but I modified them quite a bit. And as I was talking to the guys about, they served their purpose for what we needed, but I don't think that they are quite engaging enough or fast flowing enough. They're just not cool enough. I don't like them enough to keep rolling with them. And I think they've accomplished the main chunks of this scene in terms of seeing how the chess pieces are setting up and advancing and starting to make their moves, so to say. So we're going to move away from those mass combat rules. We're going to try to stay pretty focused on the player characters. So back to pretty normal D&D type stuff, we could say. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more that I really want to say other than we're going to jump back into this. The giants are breaking through. Let me switch over to the map for the viewers.
Should we give like the briefest
Yep.
Well, the map will help with that.
There we go. All right. So this fire galleon has broken through the first portcullis of Holmsgate. So there's this water channel down here. There would be some entrances into the fortress, which are, like fortified entrances and such, of course. There are some enemy units starting to scale up these cliffs. They're pretty steep. It's rough going. In fact, this group is not doing well. They had some falls and some injuries. But a couple fire giants did already make it up onto this platform. They, being fire giants, climb much better. Your group is right here. These are some foot soldiers and conscripts here at this part of the ramparts of Holmsgate. This ship has its offloading ramps. This one would as well. I just didn't actually draw any of them on there. This ship itself has suffered quite a bit of damage, so I don't think it is actually moving any longer. That is Galleon 2. Yeah, so this ship is actually like dead in the water at the moment. I guess
it's just a clog in the tunnel there.
Yeah, basically that. There we go.
Which
The red dot signify that they're dead in the water. All right, so let's zoom into this. There are still siege attacks being made from the ships, some from your side. Mangonel stones being vaulted up there. Ballista bolts, big spear-sized shafts flying through the air. Here and there, you hear the screech of beasts of war and of course all the shouts of the commands. So the noises are getting much more immediate as the enemies are converging upon the sea fortress here. You all have been planning amongst yourselves, do you have an immediate move?
Yes. I would like to shout to the unit, Vanguard and Skyriders, we're heading for the main keep. Everyone fly there as swiftly as you can and try to avoid taking any fire. And I'm sure the dirigible it's slowed down, it's taken some damage, but it'll start making its way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so assuming we all hear you, I think we're probably already in the middle of doing that, provided it doesn't seem like that galleon there is immediately about to get troops on the wall.
I would like to fly over to quickly, before I join you all, to the 3 units there, Esper, who are preparing to mount a defense of the ramp, and talk to their commanders briefly and say, we need you to buy time, but be ready to fall back to the ships en masse and leave just a skeleton force here. As soon as you hear the horn blow, or something, we'll sound it 3 times or, in quick succession to let you know that's the time to retreat, leaving just enough here to hold this pass.
Are you saying that those that stay behind will have to make a hopeless stand to try to stall out the giants?
I'm willing to try to save everyone with the Skyriders, but we have to judge the wealth of saving the mass of the forces versus a couple lives who will hold this point against the dwarves who are coming down this path soon. We have time. We have a little bit of time, but we need to move. When the time comes, the mass of our forces back to Barnacle.
You are speaking to the commander you're talking to here is a knight of Holmsgate, an elven man with a fair amount of experience under his belt, suited up in his battle gear, and he's consulting with you. And he looks back to his men, looks back to you. It's going to have to be a sacrifice of honor than those that stay behind. And I cannot expect any of my men to do that without me by their side.
If that's what you feel is necessary. I am not your commanding officer. I am going to get the approval of the commander of Holmsgate. And he is the one who will give the order for retreat. I want you to be ready to cover for the other troops here, because we don't need all these troops. Unless we're going to stand and fight, one of these units could hold this pass probably against units coming down the path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just going by the angle of the terrain, someone who is up here, you would go down the path. This is like its lowest point, and then you'd come back up.
Back up.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which creates a nice, place for them to shoot and throw and drop stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you're shooting forward and then it goes down. Yeah. Cool. They got their orders.
Yeah. The knight, he parses this out with you. You don't have a lot of time to debate it, so I'm gonna do a roll for him.
Morale.
I see no better option than that. He goes to his men and basically says, we're going to be firing down upon them when they're at the low point of this pass. But when they start to ascend, we're going to have the bulk of our forces fall back to the main fortress, right? The main structure, the main keep.
I don't know.
I'm gonna stay to try to hold back and stall off the advance of the enemy as long as possible.
Yep.
Who will stay with me? This is going to be a sacrifice of honor.
So I don't know when a convenient time would be for Aygir and Walykos to talk about this, but we have not yet used the barrels of crackle powder and
we're getting there.
Yeah, can you hold on for right in the middle of these guys? Try to decide who's going to give up their life
almost
to
there, Adam.
to try to stall off the enemy. So the Knight of Holmsgate speaks thus, and it's a grim thing to say, but not without its sense of martial, militaristic honor to it.
I mean, hell, they'll send a lot of giants to their graves before they fall. And
a single soldier says, "You can count on me. I will do this." The others just they look like no one wants to meet his gaze. There's you can feel it, like an awkward heaviness that just comes over, and just nobody wants this role. Nobody wants it because they see, they look across the way and they see these fire giants over there. This is a foe that is like something out of a fairy tale or a nightmare. And they imagine that, plus all their they've got other giant kin, plus the dwarven infantry outnumbering them.
Captain, stay here. I'll come back, and we'll figure out how we're gonna hold this. But don't move your troops away. Don't give the order to retreat until the horn is blown.
They're making preparations to fire upon them as they can. They're not really a serious ranged unit.
I understand that, but they at least have the terrain advantage.
So here's if there is a possibility maybe for the airship to kind of hover low for a while, so Aygir's involved in this.
Yeah.
One of those barrels of crackle powder plus Brine Star on the low point there could be an opportunity.
So here's the thing. We already have plans for all the crackle barrels.
We only
have two Brine Star bolts.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have spare Brine Star.
I know, but would it not be equally, if not more effective, to put one of them there?
No, because one of the plans for the spare barrel that we have is going on one of these ships and is going to take down one of these ships with. Well, okay, so I say take down, do a lot of significant damage to one of these ships and potentially sink it.
Yeah. And then the rest are just for blowing the gate closed.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Yeah. If only we had more.
If only we had more. That's always the if only. I think. But here's the thing. Even if they don't have ranged attacks, the giants and the dwarves have to physically come up here. They can make ranged attacks too, but they've got the defenses to crouch behind. The giants and the dwarves will come into melee right here at the top, and having that higher ground in melee is a bit of an advantage when you have walls to, choke point. So.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if
we don't have time to
more
debate.
Important to, anyway, no, I know we don't.
This discussion, plays out over the course of, this short span of time.
Yeah.
And then there's a terrific sound. And mangonel shots are reaching up here from this siege unit here.
That's the ship that I want to take the barrel to. So, Vapor, I'm going to need you.
One second. Before stuff goes on, I want to play this out because all of this. Oh my gosh! Come on, Map Tool. All of this is being rained down upon now with mangonel loads.
Sure.
So, what I'm going to do is make some attack rolls. You know what?
I think mangonels could do that.
Hold on.
Firing.
Sure. I think they should definitely have this.
Actually, I'm done with the mass combat roll stuff, but I have a different mechanic that I'm implementing now. So we're gonna switch to that. So this new mechanic is basically to represent a terrain hazard, which is mass combat. Mass combat is the terrain hazard. So in this case, it's raining down of mangonel shots, big stones raining down from the sky. So you, here's how this combat zone works. You make your choice of acrobatics or athletics check. So in other words, you're doing it dexterously and trying to evade, to dodge incoming shots or melee if you're in the midst of a bunch of melee fighting. Or you could do it with athletics, which is going to represent more of grit and probably using shields or weapon blocks or armor, something that relies more on strength and toughness to weather and wade through. All right, so we'll do this one at a time. We'll start off with Walykos. Your choice, acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics. So,
Yep,
what am I rolling?
athletics.
Okay. Can I use anything that I could normally use on athletics?
What if you have something that you could use like right off quickly? Go for it.
I have a 22.
Okay, that is a success. And just to let you all know, I have them categorized as three different types of combat zones. There's a lesser combat zone, there's a heavy combat zone, and there's an extreme. So to give an example, extreme would be like you were literally there fighting giants. Like you were fighting against fire giants and ogres and trolls and stuff in a kind of epic moment. A heavy zone would be like something like this, rain of siege weapons, or like a mixed unit with some dwarves, some elite soldiers, maybe a couple giants, like a mixed scenario. And then a lesser would be just like a squad of basic foot soldiers. And the damage and the DC goes higher, obviously, with the more dangerous the zones. Okay, so that's a success for Walykos. Vapor, make your choice of acrobatics or athletics.
Give me a second. Acrobatics. Would a shield spell at all help in this type of situation?
Yep, you can use shield to get +5 on this.
Okay, then yeah, we doing that. I'm gonna
All right.
roll 2 dice.
Burn your first level
just
slot.
So, cause yeah, I'm gonna roll 2 because I'm also gonna be rolling the magic surge. Blue one is magic surge.
Mhm.
Green one is the acrobatics.
Very well.
Okay, the acrobatics is going to be a 25
Nice.
and no wild magic surge.
Okay, also success. I'll roll on behalf of Nokki. I wish I had his character sheet. Let's see. We can probably figure this out real quick. Proficiency bonus at this level's plus 3, and he's probably got like a 4 strength, I'd imagine. So he's probably got +7 athletics. He rolled a 5 on the die. You got a 12. 12 is not good enough. And Armstrong.
Would 13 be enough in
Aygir.
case he maxed out his strength?
No.
So he's not close enough. Yeah.
It's the mid zone, so it's the moderate DC.
Sure.
Okay, Aygir. Well, actually, Aygir.
So he's a bit different because he's in a.
Yes,
in the
you are
airship.
in the airship. Why don't I give you? Yeah, this isn't going to be you. This is going to be like an airship control check.
Okay.
So this is actually going to be based off of the pilot. So
Okay.
let me swap over to the dwarf engineer.
I can still roll it if you need me to.
Yeah, go for it. Roll with a +4. This is an
Okay, just
air
a whatever
vehicle.
check with +4?
It's an air vehicles check based
Sure.
on dexterity, is what this is.
With a +4, 16 plus 4 is a 20.
All right, that's good enough. Evasive maneuvers are successful. I'll roll for the
Excellent.
Sky Knights unit. They've got 12 on the die. That'll definitely succeed. H5 foot soldiers and conscripts. They have failed. H4 has failed. And H3 has succeeded. Okay, so these two failed. All right, so Does anyone have a guesstimate on Nokki's hit points?
He's a barbarian, so
a lot.
yeah,
Let's see. You guys are 8th level, right?
at least
level.
50.
Okay, so 12 at first
geez,
level. 6 times
maybe
7
70
is
80s.
42. So there's 54.
Probably closer to 80.
Yeah, he's in like 80s range would be my guess.
It's half of that. Would be 4
Especially
more.
with a high con.
68, and then the con's probably like 3.
3,
24.
maybe.
68 plus 24, 90. I'm gonna give him 92 hit points.
That sounds reasonable.
Sure.
Okay.
Like, that's about 12 higher than me. So.
Nokki took 9, 12, 14 hit points. 14 points of damage. And then these units here, H5 and H4, they have wounded soldiers now. They're not wiped out or devastated, but they do have some wounded men now. Chunks rain down. Some just completely miss you guys. Others might have hit, but you take evasive maneuvers, or you block them with a spell, or block them with your armor, and that kind of sets the tone of danger of being in this spot. Does that change things for your strategy?
My strategy, which we never really got into, is I'm going to prepare a barrel, and we're going to go drop it on that ship in the center where it kind of has an opening into the inner ship. And the barrel's prepared with probably like the brine star in a glass that will shatter when it hits the deck or inside, and then the brine star will come out with the crackle powder and explode.
Make it like one of those little pop rocks and just stick the bolt head in the barrel in the powder and then drop it and let the force do it.
Well, I'm worried that just touching it is enough to set it off, so we need
It will,
separator.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that sensitive, which we have a glass bottle we can stick the head into or something, I'm sure.
Vapor pulls out an empty vial that he's got lying around.
There we go.
Exactly.
Passes
If
it
Esper
over.
has no problem, we can just kind of hand wave our rigging it up.
Mhm.
I think we had already done that at this point, so right.
Well, we
This
started
happened.
doing it, but I don't know how far we got into it.
Well,
All right,
let's
Because
just
I remember
So-
the last session we played, we did that.
You all are probably going to reposition to get the barrels rigged up. Now we need to figure out what these groups are going to do. They might actually be coming down the path this way to get
take it out of the fight.
yeah, exactly, to get more blockage and out of the way.
I guess you could do that temporarily. I figure they're gonna stop shelling this position when they make their move, and hopefully after we blow up their ship. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know that we can necessarily count on that one ship off to the right stopping until we
Are
drop
the actual
barrel.
barrels of crackle powder inside the aeroskiff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
For that purpose, however, we are taking one out of the aeroskiff that has been rigged up, and it is being supported between probably mine and Vapor's. I mean, it would have been great if Nokki, I would have included him in this, but we'll just say that he's got an important mission to get to the main, tower, and
Or
Start
maybe,
setting the
maybe
barrels
he's
up
even
there.
our advance running back to tell Barnacle.
No, I would prefer that he stays in case he shows up. So
Well,
let's say he's going to the main.
Sure.
keep.
Yeah.
He's going to the main keep, getting the barrels set up there.
Well, that's
So-
kind of a ways away. Maybe I think we're doing that here, and then we can put it between you and Vapor's kite sails and get it out there.
No, so me and Walykos are taking one barrel and we're going to do a bombing run.
We're going to do
Yes.
a bomb run.
Oh, sorry. Then he's
And
got the
then
other
we have
barrel. Yeah,
three more
okay.
barrels.
The main
With
keep
the
is to the south and the right of the map. So
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
how we're
so-
headed.
So Nokki could be moving the barrels to there to get
Yeah.
set for that. I think that would
And
be
these 3 units, the thing is, if I may, Esper, if you could zoom out just a little bit. I would like to see. Yes, so there is a footpath from where you've positioned us that those other units can use to get down to the docks. It looks like you see,
Mhm.
back through there. So, I would actually prefer them to hide from the shelling there, and get ready when they stop shelling, they'll run out and meet the giants,
Mhm.
kind of.
Yeah, this would basically have full cover from the shelling. It's at a lower
Because
elevation,
it
and you
has-
like go through a door and come upstairs to get up onto the open air rampart.
And you got to imagine that ship down there can't see who's on this tower. They assume that there's still people up here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're fighting.
They just sent their best guest volley up there.
Yeah. Which is fine if they keep doing that. They can waste their ammo. I'm okay with it.
Right.
So,
Okay, so everyone takes repositioned here due to the mangonel fire. You all are getting one barrel prepared, where
Yes.
you put in like Vapor finds the best ideal sized vial from his herbalism kit. You stick
no,
the brine star. He's sorting through his vials.
I was sorting for the vials, like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I was so confused. I'm like, why?
He probably needs one that's like
too
big
too
enough.
big, too small, too short, too tall, too
Yeah.
gray,
Okay.
too green,
And
too
You
ribbit.
get you break off the tip of this ballista
Yeah, the
bolt,
ballista
which is
bolt.
coated thick in this
Thick.
like
Yeah.
pungent alchemical reeking sap type substance, and you stick it in there. You seal it,
And yeah.
and then open up that barrel.
Yep. All right, we move
And
first
very
off. We're
carefully.
gonna move it very far away from the rest of the troops so we don't have an accident.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're dealing
We're probably
with a bomb here. We're not going to be doing this right next to the rest of the troops.
Yeah.
Vapor's
also-
holding this and looking at the powder, going, Walykos, is this
Yeah.
really the smart idea here?
It's the only move we've got that they won't expect.
All right, whatever. And
Alright.
Vapor carefully is putting the vial in.
I use Mage Hand to help, like do what I can without getting, in your way. Just kind of helping tunnel out a little
Yeah.
a little nest for it
Mhm.
inside the barrel.
All right,
All right.
you stick in the vial, and your heart's probably a little pounding
fine.
at that moment. You seal up the lid,
Yeah.
taking care, and then the barrel itself is being held.
Yes.
Where's the barrel being held?
Well, we're going to have our kite sails.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be between the kite sails. Ideally, we have rope that
Yeah,
we
oh,
can
yeah.
use to hold it.
Two
We'll
ropes.
tie a rope, going beneath it, and we'll just let go of the rope, honestly, when we drop it. Does that
Okay.
make sense, Esper?
Yep. Okay. So the
It's
two.
going to be tricky.
Yeah.
but I think
Vapor's
we
always
can
going
do
to
it.
mention this to Walykos. I think we're going to want to be really high up when we drop this. to be
I
out of their
don't
range.
disagree. We're going to fly. Flying is our advantage. Let's
Yeah.
take full advantage of that. They can't shoot straight up either. Like shooting straight up just doesn't work with physics, except magic.
Well, as long as we're, I would say, about 500 feet above them, they're not going to hit us with any spells.
Yeah, I was gonna say they might have a caster, but they're probably gonna wonder what the hell we're doing until they realize too late.
Mhm.
So
Maybe we'll get lucky and they're
yeah, they might not even
stupid
spot
enough
us. Yeah, for all we know. Cool. All right, I think I'm ready.
Okay, so
Go on spell slots,
the two
but
of you
yeah,
are
what we need.
preparing this barrel with the full of crackle powder, and then the the brine star tipped ballista head
Yes.
protected inside of this vial, and
Yeah.
you rig up the barrel you tie a rope around it, and you have one of your kite sails grasp one rope, and you have the other kite sail grasp the other rope.
Yep. We make sure that it's secure because we don't want to. We'll cut the rope. Honestly, like I'd rather that I cut the rope rather than just risk it being dropped by a whoopsie.
So you affix the rope onto the kite
Yes.
sail forelimb.
Worst case, it's if we get hit, we get jostled, but hopefully we won't drop it.
Okay.
But I think we're not going to get hit. I mean, we got a pretty good plan to fly high in the sky.
As you're getting prepared, these troops, go down a stairwell and come out here on this lower landing. So they do still have shots. Again, they're not really a strong range. A lot of them don't even have ranged attacks, but they have a
fine.
little bit. And they reposition here. Some of them are going to fall back this way and get to the ships.
Yes.
And some of them are going to go back up the stairs and try to stall out whatever forces of the enemy come up there. Meanwhile, the Mangonel Stone Rain continues. Yeah. No one's really in a very viable position to get hit by that, so I'm not going to worry about messing with any rolls there. I am going to do a couple rolls for these enemies over here.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to roll first on the Battle Priest Thrade, who, by the way, is supposed to be riding on that Drake. That was his mount, but since the mass combat is just stupidly complicated, I overlooked that. Yeah. Okay.
But hey, look at it this way: we would have killed the Drake, and he would have fallen to his death.
And it was actually kind of cool how that Drake menaced you. All right, so he rolled fantastically well. He's making progress. These here. Okay, they rolled good enough. All right, so they're making progress, and there's another side over here. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna give.
Now, I believe our manned defensive positions are raining down fire on this side.
Yeah.
Unless I remember, unless we're changing targets with them.
Okay, four rolls.
No, there's just no one there.
Okay, yeah. C1. C1 has an accident. They fall back and they suffer some casualties and some injuries.
Let's make a note.
Okay, where do I have?
Just out of curiosity, how steep is that cliff there?
They're very steep. Yeah, this is it's a very difficult climb. They do have climbing gear that they're using, but when it comes to just like their mass of infantry, not all the guys are well equipped, and there's too many of it. It's kind of a mess. It's
their bodies.
Yeah,
they're not.
Their cannon fodder is essentially get as many of them up the cliff as we can and heave ho.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to make a note here of C1. C1. Some wounded. A few dead. Okay, C2. C2 actually has a similar accident. And Fire Giant Leader, he stalls out. C2. Okay, so that did not go well. That round of ascent, that actually went about as bad as it could get. All right, F1. Units are ascending. Their Fire Giant Commander. Oh my gosh. He actually has a mishap. Okay, that is Fire Giant D1. Is that D1? Why is that D1? F. I think that was a mistake from a copy over. That's supposed to be an F1. Okay. All right. F1. Fire Giant light wound. Okay. And unit of infantry. They ascend. And Fire Giant Commander, he ascends as well. Okay, he's getting close. All right. Are you guys ready? Walykos and
Wait, I thought we still had a couple. I thought
you could move Sky Knights if you want. You could move the Aeroskiff.
What about the siege units in the center from us? They weren't destroyed.
They weren't, but they're still shooting at the ships.
Yeah, this battle is continuing. I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I'm gonna do just kind of a generalized roll.
Okay.
Or actually, why don't you guys do the generalized roll?
I don't. I hate to say this. I'm fine with it just being background.
Okay.
I don't want to slow things down.
Yeah, let's just keep it background.
In that case, I will do the generalized roll, which is going to be super fast.
Yeah.
There we go.
Things are not going well for the defenders of Holmsgate. The giants are breaking through and continuing to pound the fortress with siege attacks.
Which is why I just want to focus in on us for a second, Esper.
Yep.
The plan is, me and Vapor are doing this dangerous mission. Adam is leading the rest of the knights on the Skyriders back to the main keep to speak with the commander and to set up those other 3 barrels at strategic weak spots to bring the gate down when the time comes.
Yeah, this is what it has to be, because you guys are faster on the kite sails with that.
And you got to putter away until you get there.
And we have the time now, but that's running out, so you should do that.
This will also give you an RP moment before we get back to talk to the commander, and hopefully you can...
Also that, yes. Aygir with his shitty charisma.
You'll have your scene.
Yeah.
So, Esper, how do you want to play this?
We'll understand that Aygir in the Aeroskiff and the Sky Knights are heading back to the main keep.
Yep.
They're making their way over here. They're going to speak with Hopkin, the commander of Holmsgate.
Yep.
Sir Hopkin, we must say.
Sir Anthony Hopkin.
Yeah. So, if you have an actual something you want to say, Aygir, now would be the time. If you're not sure, we'll pause that and wait and see what happens with Walykos and Vapor's run.
I mean, now makes sense, because it's before the big dramatic moment that will shift things. So, if he has a moment to talk to the commander, he's seeing that, only one guy volunteered, and he's going to say...
This is the commander of Holmsgate.
Yes.
Not that knight that was just commanding that unit of...
Well, right.
Of
He saw that, and now he's talking to the commander of everything, having seen that, relaying that information, saying, well, you aware what our plan is? Or do you have ideas of your own? So I'm here to tell you what we're going to have to do.
We are heading below to stave them off from rushing into the underbelly of this keep. They're in quite a flurry.
Well, if we're going to save even some of the soldiers here, we have to effect a retreat. There's no way to stop this. The Vanguard and I have talked, and we need to close the gate. We have crackle powder enough to do it, and that will stop them getting through.
We need to what the gate?
Close the gate. We need to...
Close the gate?
No. Explode. Destroy with explosives.
Take down the tunnels, what you're saying.
Yes.
Damn.
Think about it. This is what it has to be. They are already through. They cannot be allowed to take their ships through. If we can keep it to just individual giants, then none of them can sail on barnacles. They'll be delayed. We'll be able to effect a defense at the city itself. And with luck, we can get enough of you out of here that we'll have the soldiers to do it.
That would also lock us in here as well.
We have ships on the water.
But that would lock us all in Haven's Isle.
Yes. What choice do we have otherwise?
He runs through scenarios in his head. You can see his gears turning. He kind of paces about anxiously, and there's still, the rumbling, smashing sounds of mangonel shots hitting the keep. How many more of those explosives do you have?
We have one that Brave Vapor and my comrade Walykos are about to use on one of the ships. We have 3 more that we are going to use to close the gate for good. This is all we have, but it should be enough.
What sort of damage would one of those barrels do? Enough to take down a fire galleon?
We're not sure, but we hope. He's just in a moment of, uncharismatic honesty. He just kind of blurts out, "Yeah, we're not sure, but hopefully."
The only time, I just want to remind everyone, the only time we've ever seen crackle powder in this used was a very tiny fragment about, like a little
Yes.
pinch,
Yes.
and it made a big boom.
Yeah.
It made enough that Aygir
Like an
and
arrowhead
Spindle
sword.
like jump hadn't had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tiny pinch. This is a pounds
Barrel.
and pounds
Right.
of barrel.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
so
I'm
this is-
excited to see
we
what
have
this does.
we have reason to believe, though, based on where they were positioned, that these 4 barrels were supposed to take down the fortress.
3 barrels were down by the
And one was
gate,
by the,
like,
by the
tower.
docks. Yeah,
So
so
it was actually by one of the towers, and one was by the docks.
yeah, so actually, I mean, Aygir will very quickly, in the time there is, explain. These 3 were supposed to have blown up the whole tower. This one was supposed to take out the docks. We have reason to believe it'll be big.
Just watch that ship over there, and you'll see in a minute.
Something's going to happen to that ship, either good or bad, for us and for them.
He agrees. He agrees with the wisdom of that tactic.
Now we all don't
The
see
thing that
command
he
here.
worries
This-
about though
yeah.
is that isolates Haven Isle itself. So
right, which it does.
ships
but,
coming from Terra Morgana can't get through. Trade
The ships
can't come
from Terra-
through.
They wouldn't get through if the Giants controlled Holmsgate either.
right.
They could fight them.
yeah.
They could try to break through.
Well, this is why he's just going to kind of deliver an ultimatum here and say.
So he's thinking,
is-
maybe we should wait and see, because if one of those barrels takes out a whole ship or even sinks a whole ship, and you could maybe knock out 2 more ships. I don't think he quite understands that you only have
What's-
one other.
Right.
Oh,
What's
Brian Star.
the commander's
Good.
name?
Hopkin, Sir
Mm-hmm.
Hopkin, commander of Holmsgate.
That's right. Sir Hopkin, wait and see. No, there is no wait and see. There is now, and there is the time at which the giants will have overrun us and taken the fort and killed half your soldiers or more and all of us. There is no wait and see. There is now. There is acting now. There is getting as many people as we can out, having those soldiers for the later fight in Baracle itself.
Yeah.
And there is that. Vanguard and I have discussed this. You are in command. We cannot give the order. It must come from you. But we need you to understand this is our only option. We would not suggest something so drastic if it were otherwise.
You do speak truly, and in fact, even as you're saying this, there are other, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like captain rank soldiers and other knights, saying like, we
Officers.
got to get down there now. And there's like this continual stream of soldiers that are going through, like, the different entrances here on the main keep to get down there and try to defend enemies that will be trying to break through the doors below into the lower level of
So there's
Holmsgate.
2 things that haven't been said. Adam, you haven't told them that we only have 1 Brian Star tip. That's why
that is a
that's
kicker.
important.
Yeah, so that will also come up. He'll say retroactively. He said that when he was talking about the 3 barrels were enough to blow up the tower, and also we only have effectively 1 other detonator. Yeah, that would definitely have not been something he forgot to explain.
So
Even in
if
his
we
case.
use the 3 barrels, they all have to be together. Basically, we can't use
Yeah.
them separately. If we use 1, we use all 3.
Yeah, if he says something about can we sink 3 more ships, he says no. No, we're not able to set it off 3 not at once. They all have to go at once or not at all.
He utters some curses under his breath at realizing the way that has to function, and he nods. Okay, this is the best play we have, and he gives the order. And so the other 2 barrels of crackle powder, along with the, I guess,
3 barrels. 3 barrels.
the other 3 barrels.
Yes.
There's one between me and Vapor and Walykos.
There were
and
4
then there's
total.
4 total. so the
2
third-
were here. 2 were
3.
here.
No, 1 was at the docks. 3 were at the tower.
1 is at the dock, 3 at the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
So the other 3 barrels, and then who has the brine star?
I mean, I guess that's Aygir until
Okay.
he actually
All right,
puts
so
it into
Aygir
the
is
barrel.
is
And
managing
it would be
the
also
Brain
in
Star.
It also be in a vial. Vapor would have left one for Aygir.
Well,
Yeah.
Aygir can handle that. I have.
Yeah. And then, so the other thing...
if you want, you have a vial that you could break off the tip and put it in there. Up to you. For the moment, you just have like this big, like a freaking honkin' spear with the coating on the spear tip.
Point of order, there was a second point that needs to be mentioned in this plan.
We need to actually retreat from this.
We do, because whoever sets off the explosion, we need someone to set it off, which is going to, there's only one way to do that without killing anyone, and that's Vapor and someone else dimension dooring out at the moment that they set it off. So
right.
Anyone who stays behind, aside from the two that set it off, are going to die in this explosion. If he can get together a sort of a suicide crew who draw the giants in and keep them fighting every step of the way till they get to the gate.
Yeah, so that's the thing that Aygir was going to tell him after that. Once he's agreed to this, Aygir is going to say, now,
I just wanted to make sure.
You do know what else this means, right? If we're going to get as many soldiers out of here as we can, we need some to stay behind. Yes?
We need to draw the giants in for maximum damage. If we just blow the gate, they'll be sitting out there in their ships until they clear this. If we want to do maximum damage, we want them to feel like they've almost won, and then boom, blow it at the last second.
Yeah, that's all part of what's hastily being explained. I don't know how much of it is necessarily going to come through, considering this is all happening in the span of like a minute. But and he's going to say that yes, we need to have some stay behind. You command here, so Hawken. Do you have a way of creating such a crew?
There are some that have the grit for this. I would not ask it of them if I would not do it myself.
Well, see to it that you assemble such a team, and then I shall meet the rest of you, and we shall start effecting a retreat of those who are to leave today. I will help them get on the ships and get underway.
Who will be setting off this barrel you speak of?
That would be two of the Vanguard. It would be Vapor and Walykos. They have magics by which they can disappear from the spot.
Disappear from the
spot. It need not be any of your men blowing themselves up.
Teleportation.
Yeah.
You are saying that the two magi.
Yes.
Will escape this doom of the tower the keep collapsing on them.
That they will, but in order to keep the giants at bay for long enough to do this and to draw them in for causing as much damage to them as possible, we still will need some sort of a force to remain behind. And yes, their lives will be forfeit, and we will see to it that they shall all be honored as heroes. And actually, would he have overheard the name of that guy?
What's that?
Would he have overheard the name of that one guy who volunteered over on the wall?
You know who it is. I mean, you saw the person.
Yeah, but would he have overheard that guy's name?
Oh, I don't think a name was spoken.
Okay.
You make mention of this?
Yeah, obviously. That guy, he, when nobody else did that. He's the one who is certainly going to die here, but deserves a posthumous Medal of Honor or equivalent for it. He's the guy. He's the Saving Private Ryan guy, He's the hero of the day.
Yes, heroes. Sacrifice.
We will pay people to write ballads about him.
Yet your two Vanguard members will escape this doom.
If I could lay down my own life for this and be as effective, I would do so. This is true for all
Why does not
four of us.
Walykos and that raven goddess of his stay down there and fight to the death? Take out as many of the giants as they can before we send the keep collapsing.
Isn't the Raven Goddess here with you guys?
I think she was.
She
Well,
was
anyway,
with the main
he's
attachment.
asking this, but
I'm just wondering why she couldn't answer herself.
yeah, if that were the most effective use of them, trust in me that he would have volunteered for that, and without question would already be doing so. But I hate to brag, but the four of us are far more needed at Barnacle itself for when the defense comes. When that happens, the Vanguard will fight to the last, and should we all fall, so be it. But for right now,
Yes, well,
You
it's
must
quite a
escape-
thing to
you
ask
must escape
others
and
to
your men must
sacrifice
escape.
their lives for a cause that you yourself will not do the same. He says this as you all are like, you're not just standing there in place. You're like making your way down in this like great hustle and bustle of all these soldiers
Sure.
to the,
And
to
there
the
are other
lower
things
reaches of the
that-
keep.
yeah, other things that I, the player, can say, but that Aygir won't, because, he is very smart but very uncharismatic and has a habit of putting his foot in his mouth. So he's not going to quite, he will say again, yes, we would
There's
totally
still
be willing to die
time.
for the cause, but
Let's see how the
Yeah.
bomb goes, and then maybe I'll come over and say a couple more things.
anyway, yeah, for dramatic effect though, if we're near an arrow slit or something, he's gonna look out it, notice, point, and tell Hopkin, "Oh, you want proof that this works? Look, see the kite sails? There's your proof." And now it's bomb time.
Alas, Aygir and all those that are down in the lower reaches of the keep do not have a view of this. But
Okay.
you, the player, will, and maybe
Sure.
some messengers will run like a relay to explain
I think they'll
things.
hear the explosion, if nothing else.
It
They'll
is going to
feel
be
the explosion.
loud. No
So-
matter what, there's going to be
The
a
last
big bang.
the last thing that we'll see before we cut back to Walykos and Vapor is actually the lower level of the keep. And what we have is imagine you can see like a split of not stairwells. It's like a big stairwell, like a giant sized stairwell, but there's a split of landings. One landing runs a like the span of the tunnel of the gullet here with murder holes, and there are some men there like shooting down arrows and firing crossbow bolts at giants and dwarves who are like scaling across the sides like these little ledge platforms. They probably don't have to be scaling like that. I mean, they're probably made to walk, but they're trying to filter off of their ship and get access. And then that lower portion, the lower landing, has actually like a heavily fortified gate with like a big bar, like a big freaking steel bar on it. And there's just this constant pounding of the giants trying to force their way through. Looks like we'll have our sacrifice before long.
And then, so yeah, the last thing that Aygir would have said before the actual cut is just like, something like, well, I will go to the aeroskiff now, meet me by the ships, and we shall lead the men together to retreat from this place. And then probably some line about, there's your proof when we hear the boom.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to the boom.
1
Okay.
minute ago.
Where's the kaboom? It's supposed to be a Haven Isle shattering kaboom.
Walykos and Vapor and your two kite sails. The brave kite sails, let us not forget them, that you are riding atop. Lift up into the air. The thing's bodies undulate more and more, gaining lift, getting higher and higher, and Vapor makes his estimation of about 500 feet, give or take, and well, you can decide if you think that's the right altitude to be at.
500 feet above the the top of the wall that
Yeah.
we're on, right?
Yeah.
Because that
That's-
means it's
not-
even further to the
Yes,
ship.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Okay,
because he
that's
knows
clear.
there's some spells I could possibly, so even higher up is better. But he was saying, estimate
this
most
is
spells
fine.
have a range about 500 at max.
If we start getting spells shot at us, we will make our adjustments. I'll shout over to Vapor. I'm like, "Are you ready?"
Vapor looks back, looking a little nervous, gives his kite sail a pat, and goes, "No, but we need to do this. Fucking hell, let's go."
Let's do this. And I kind of yeehaw my kite sail, and we begin, building forward momentum,
Mhm.
as we start moving forward.
I'm reviewing what all's on this ship here, on this fire galleon.
Certainly.
As you
Take
two
your time.
are 500 feet above the ramparts and begin heading this way with roped up barrel of crackle powder, the rigged barrel.
Yep.
It's kind of like swaying there, like swinging between the kite sails.
Yep.
All right, so the first thing I want to do is roll just sort of a generalized perception check to see at
they even
what
notice.
point do they really start to take notice of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely looking upward, but can they see?
Well, for them, it was not great. And you all have made quite a bit of progress before the enemy really, you can tell they see what's going on now. So you advance quite a bit, and you're actually getting close to where you'll be hovering over their ship. So there's a lot of activity. There are a number of the dwarves just jump off of the ship, like scores of them jump off the
What?
ship into the water.
How did they even know what's like? It's a barrel, yes, but I mean, okay.
That's not something that I could answer.
That's
A
true.
little too in the- it's a little too in the meta area.
You're right.
Unless
But you
this is
make-
one of the Bale ships. I could see the Bale maybe making the call for abandoned ship to try
Well,
to save as many as men. But I don't know if this
I'm
is
glad.
a Bale ship.
I'm glad to just leave it mysterious. Let's just focus on what
You had-
our characters do.
you have advanced the majority of the way when it finally becomes
All right.
obvious that the enemy seems
Is
wise to what's
panicked.
going on.
Yeah. Cool.
There are two
giants.
thraits, the dwarven thraits. You can identify them because their equipment is like champion level equipment. One of them has this heavy crossbow, and like he takes his best shot
shit.
that he can, and the bolt flies up, and just can't get up high enough to get to you. He did good, but it wasn't good enough. And he's pretty small because you're up there kind of high. So you see him, whatever, like kind of curse or something.
Oh,
The
I've
other
got
th-
really
the
good
other-
perception. I'll notice what's happening.
The other threat is a battle priest, another battle priest, and he has actually mounted up on one of those drakes.
Ah, perfect. We'll have a little bit of a fight when we're getting away, maybe.
So let me put him on the battle map.
Let me know if he gets within 120 feet.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. I'm not finding
Take
my
your time.
token. Not finding my token.
What you could do, Esper, you might actually want to put that ship on the object layer since it's not going to move. That way you won't keep clicking on it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
I
sense?
did that with one of the ships, and I think that's a good solution.
It's a very good solution when you suddenly take a token and make it so that you're not going to click on it. Like maybe it's a dead enemy or
Yeah.
something.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I think I deleted off the token is what happened,
All good.
but I'll have it here in just 1 second.
Copy a new one on.
Yep, I'm just doing that. back. Okay, cool. So this here and zoom out. Luckily, I'm not getting lagged this time.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you very much for the patience, and yeah, I will set this to change to object. Okay, cool. That's exactly what I needed. All right, so he is starting to pick up some altitude, but you know, is not anywhere close to as high up as you two are. And he has this helmet with like a full mask, helm, and some splint armor, and a drake, much like the one you had seen before.
Yep.
It seemed to have some kind of almost volcanic aspect to it. I don't know why I said I haven't been getting lagged this time, because I just got lagged right now. Literally, just after I said it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I just had to say it. All right. Let's go back to you two. You all continue. Well, he's down pretty far, so he's gonna be like, I don't know, total's got to be more than 500 feet total, because there's all that angle. Bear with me a second, guys. I'm trying to figure out why I couldn't find the stats for this creature, but it might just be the strange spelling that it has. Okay, I found it there. Okay, there's 2 Ds. Okay. Man, I thought there was only 1 D. I thought there were 2 L's and 1 D, but there's 1 L and 2 Ds. Okay, here we go. It's one of mine. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, it's called an Eldrake, and I thought it was ELL Drake, but it's not. It's ELD Drake, Eld Drake. Yeah. So here we are. It was kind of like a volcanic steam aspect to it. The enemies at a altitude of 200. Oh my gosh, no, because it's down low. He's so far away from you guys. He's so far away because you're 500 above the rampart, and he's come up 200 feet from the top of the ship. So there's hundreds and hundreds of feet. Which you do that, you get yourself into position above, you want it to be like right above this part here, right? it makes sense that the outer walls are thicker than the inner walls. That's just building vehicles and structures 101. All right, so okay. So let's keep rolling with this. You guys are there. You're I'm actually not sure what your total altitude is. Your total altitude's got to be like probably 1500. Yeah, you're probably at 1500. That's a good approximate. Yep. And this battle priest, he's gaining altitude pretty quickly, but he's at, 400. So there's still a distance of like 1,100 feet. And he's like, his Drake is flapping and he's whipping it on, driving it as hard as he can. But you guys are just so high up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. So you guys are like, go. There's no time to hesitate. You cut through the ropes, and 1, 2, 3. You let it fall. And as soon as it drops, you jab your your kite sails and heading back west, east. Doesn't matter. Okay, back towards this way. All right. So we'll say you're going to get like one movement in. Okay, he's does more vertical than horizontal, so I'll put him up another 80 feet. Yeah. You've still got like 1,000 feet of height between you and him. There are giants on the ship as well. There are giants on the ship. I forgot to mention that, though I guess you guys kind of understood that. I can tell you what there are actually. This is there's not on this one. Nope. This is Galleon 5. No, Bale. No. This is Galleon 5. There are 3 fire giants. No, I've said that wrong. There are 5 fire giants, 2 stone giants, 1 hill giant, 4 ogres. So as many people as possible are pouring off of the ship, jumping off, including giants. But there's this one fire giant. There's this one fire giant. He's standing right on deck, kind of like anticipating the barrel falling down. Anticipating. It does a lot of damage. All right, so the barrel it falls for a while because it's falling from like 1,500 feet up, and that fire giant he doesn't manage to grasp it, and it hits the ship, kind of like in this sort of area, and immediately erupts with it's you can't even tell. There's just a massive eruption. There's just and it's not just this like bang. It's not like a snap of your fingers blast. It's like this continual like a scream, like a elemental, like a thunder behemoth just roaring. So that it's like this extended explosion, and it rocks out in all directions, but it especially kicks up a bunch of blast. And the whole fire galleon, which is this massive thing, just like rocks in the water violently and is like laid, like the midsection of this fire galleon is laid to utter ruin. And the two halves of it are just like just gulping down, crushing beneath the waves. There is a point worth mentioning. That fire giant who stayed on deck like defiantly, who's like trying to catch the barrel. The force of the blast, it blows him off of the ship, but you see him actually come up in the water and just glaring at you because it's mostly fire damage. And it doesn't look like it really hurt him very much. So something kind of clicks in your head right now because their original plan was hiding this stuff all along Haven's port. Like hiding it amongst like where they would land at the docks and the wharf. So I won't say any more, but that's something that kind of like clicks with you now that you notice that the crackle powder explosion is terrible, and as hot as it is, it doesn't really do much to the fire giants. Now, those that jumped into the water, I'm gonna do some rolls here. All right, so these are the E units. I'm going to roll dwarves first. E1 infantry. They armor that gives disadvantage on stealth also gives disadvantage on swimming athletics. Chain shirt. Right. Oh, 3.5 was really harsh with swimming in heavy armor. It was more realistic. It's not impossible. It's just very, very hard. Yes. Yeah, you would exhaust really fast because you're basically like like that. It's like you're constantly sinking. I did an experiment once. I went into a swimming pool holding a weight, a 25-pound weight. And that just like I couldn't now I was holding it, so I wasn't using my hands for swimming, but you know how you can just like kick yourself in the water and move around? I couldn't do that. I couldn't get anywhere with just 25 extra pounds of weight on me. Yeah. Chain shirt does not have disadvantage. So the basic infantry spearmen guys, they don't. So E1 is I'm just gonna say they're swimming. They are, maybe a few of them got killed in that, but most of them are doing all right. All right, E2 dwarves. Mm-hmm. This is right here is where the water's really hot. These are actual like hardened stone barriers there, like the solidified lava. So here's probably just like steamy warm. Up there starts to get scalding. Okay. What am I doing now? I'm rolling for E2 infantry. They're swimming as well. They're doing about as good. E3 is siege. They are also swimming. Okay, so the majority of the dwarf infantry got off. Let's see. I'm going to roll. I don't even know if I need to really roll for giants. Their swimming is so good. Oh, but the fire giants are in full plate. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right, fire. But they are very strong, and they have proficiency with athletics. So I don't actually think they're going to drown. Yeah, they've got plus 11 athletics. Okay, they're fine. And then I'll do... Oh, remember that happened before? Yeah, it's like that thing that happened before. Yeah, I'm just going to do the reboot now. Okay, so... sorry, everyone. We're going to be back on a fresh stream, so just stand by on my channel. You'll see a new live stream coming up here in some minutes. Sorry about that.
Here we go.